Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Now, this is another video about Rachel Reeves, and I apologise two on the same day. It's just too much sometimes, but this one is important as well because it goes to show that not only is she coming after those that she thinks has got money, but she's definitely going after those that don't have money. We've seen already she's slaughtering the elderly by taking away the heating allowance. That'll end up with people dying, I'm sure. But they're not the only vulnerable people in society, and we will talk about that in just a moment. As I say, we've talked about the borrowing, that's one big thing, but she still needs to raise the taxes. So she's looking at raising capital gains tax, which is currently at 18% for lower pay and 28% for the upper levels. This is an iniquitous tax because it's a raise on a tax on something you've bought with taxed money. And yes, okay, I get that there is going to be some uplift and stuff. And yes, tax it is fine. But previously, there was an allowance. You were allowed a certain allowance before you got taxed. She's going to start reducing that allowance right the way down till eventually there'll be no allowance and every part of it will be taxed. And she's going to increase the rates at which this is taxed. This will lead to an immediate, once this is announced, an immediate dumping of all assets in Britain. They'll just dump the assets, take the money and get out and then go. And then the money will flee this country. Billions upon billions will go. And you can see it almost, well, it's already happening. We're seeing billions leave as we stand. But once you do this with the capital gains, nobody's going to buy anything. Why would a company invest and put its money into capital knowing it's going to get horrendously taxed on it? It won't. It'll invest outside. It'll go elsewhere and spend the money elsewhere. That's number one. So that's going to cost jobs and reduce investment. Then she's obviously looking at inheritance tax. Currently at 40% over the limit. She wants to lower the limits. She wants to push the rate up from 40 to 55%. And again, this is money you've already been taxed on as you earn it. And now she wants to tax it because you've gone and done the terrible thing of dying. This is truly iniquitous, and it's this decision that's making me want to leave the country. I don't believe that I should be handing over 55% of everything I own to the government. And also, there's gifting. At the moment, if you gift someone and you live 7 years, it's tapered. But if you live 7 years after gifting, there's no tax. She wants to remove that tapering and gifting, so everything gets taxed on giving. Again, that will cause problems, and it means a lot of money will change hands, and it'll probably leave the country. Again, it'll be money leaving the country. Now, that's on the tax front. But what about the spending? Now, I did mention that I was going to say about this. Vulnerable people. Vulnerable people are multifaceted. There's many different types. But there's one group, those in social housing, and they're vulnerable because, after all, if you are in social housing, you are by definition vulnerable. You can't afford your own home. You've got to rely on social housing. And she's decided that these people in social housing, who are amongst the worst off, obviously, well, screw them as well. Treat them like the pensioners. And so she's going to be raising rents on social housing. Because, hey, screw them. Yeah? They're poor. What are they going to do? They're not going to do nothing. They haven't got the money to come after me. We'll keep them poor. We'll remove from them any hope, any aspiration. What's the point? And that's what they're doing. They're removing hope and aspiration from peoples who are already downtrodden and fairly low in society's ranks. And she's going after them. Is that the Labour way? Or is that just the policies of evil? This is what you get. Now, the 80% of the people in this country who did not vote Labour really need to start doing something. Protesting. Peaceable. Very peaceably protesting. They'll get the message. Every election, every by-election, everything. Vote Labour out. They are destroying this country and they will go after everyone. No one is safe. Anyway, I'll leave that there. But a hike to social rents, more than inflation, every year for a decade is what's on the books. Good luck. Thanks a lot. Bye.